What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Steven Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. All right, guys, so I just kind of finished watching the film, taking some notes on what I saw in the film from the defensive perspective, and I'm going to tell you guys something. It's much worse than you think. It's really bad. And I've had some back and forth with some people about the defense. I think, genuinely speaking, the defense has looked a lot better since we got healthy. With that said, if you're fooling yourself into thinking this defense is good right now, I don't know about that, guys. I'm telling you, and I'm going to show you today on film where there is no argument. We threw the kitchen sink during the opening drive of, well, it's not the opening drive, but during the Miami Dolphins' first drive of the second half of the football game. We threw the kitchen sink at them defensively, Jim Schwartz did, trying to stop and disrupt that offense. And we couldn't do it. If there is any doubt about how important it is to have a game-breaking player at wide receiver or on your offense in general somewhere, this should leave no doubt after this, because I'm telling you right now, Devante Parker shifted the entire game. He shifted the entire perspective of the game for the Dolphins. And the bottom line is that the Dolphins have big, tall guys that can go high point the football. They got a speedy guy in Albert Wilson, and they got a possession guy in Hearns. Their receiving core is pretty good. You get a veteran quarterback who doesn't hold the football, which that was the biggest shift that happened, guys, is that Fitzpatrick just flat out refused, except for on special occasions, after that first two series, to hold the football for long. He got out of his hands quickly. And that changed everything because we tried everything to slow them down and nothing worked. Not one thing worked. Now, I will admit, and I'm going to scrutinize some of the decisions we made because I thought that, hey, I see what you tried to do, but this is probably what I would have done to add another wrinkle to what you were doing. Telling you right now, we got beat, and we got beat on the defense. The defense cost us this football game. There is absolutely no doubt about it. It is undeniable when you see it on the film.
That game is 100% on the defense. We always feel if you give us 20 points, we should win the game.
Okay, guys, when I say that we threw the kitchen sink at them, what do I mean by that? I mean, when I watched the film, this is what I recorded. We played from base packages in the 43, the nickel, and the dime. In coverage schemes, we played everything from cover 1 to cover 3 to cover 0 to dime. I'm sorry, being in a dime package that included quarters coverage. It just, everything we did, guys, they beat. They beat us on every single shift that we made. And early on, it did look good, but we were fortunate. Fitzpatrick was trying to hold the ball a little longer than he should, and our defensive line against their offensive line is a mismatch. We realized it, and unfortunately for us, it did not take Fitzpatrick very long in this game to also recognize what was going on. And they made an adjustment. We attempted to make several adjustments in return. We got beat.
Season with the Bucs. First and 10, 25-yard line.
In this game, one thing I noticed was the Eagles, genuinely speaking, and there were some times where we shifted things, but we like to start off first downs and cover 3 for many reasons. To begin with, cover 3 is a very versatile defense to play on possible running down distances while still giving you the aspect of being able to zone and play pass. So we liked starting off first downs in that particular coverage set, cover 3. This was a 43 base cover 3 concept. And sometimes it's really difficult to tell the difference between cover 3 and cover 1. Cover 1 is generally speaking a man concept. Cover 3 is generally speaking a zone concept. And the way I always distinguish it is number one, you can look and see if there's shifting, if there's motion with the wide receivers to see, are we passing off responsibility? Is someone following them? The other thing is you can look at who covers the running backs or something like that coming out of the backfield. If you see a guy that mans up on them, obviously, if you don't see anyone man up on them, then you know that there's probably someone assigned to the flat in a zone. The other thing really textbook to watch for is the linebacker. In this particular one, what you'll see is Grugier Hill is going to drop. He's going to drop out to the outside area like this, kind of outside to the area. And I believe it's Nigel Bradham drop straight back, almost like what you would see almost in a Tampa 2. But we're in cover 3, and that's almost textbook cover 3 when you see the linebackers do that exact drop back. Okay? I'll show you it on film. Just pay attention to the linebackers. You'll see exactly what I'm looking at. All right, guys, just watch Grugier Hill drift and then watch Nigel Bradham drift. So, cover 3. You guys see why I'm looking at, why it tipped it off to me. But in cover 3, guys, what you're having is 3 levels, really, of coverage. Generally speaking, you see single high safety. The first thing that probably should go through your mind is that we're probably in cover 1 or cover 3. Those are pretty much your options normally. Now, once you can determine if you're in cover 1 or cover 3, cover 1 meaning you're in a man-to-man. Cover 3 meaning there's going to be a zone concept here. So when you're in cover 3, now you're going to look at those different layers. So the first layer is what we call, your thirds. So you have your right cornerback, your left cornerback, and your free safety playing thirds. Basically, each corner has where the numbers are to the sideline is their responsibility. And then that safety has everything basically between those hash marks, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. Some of those corners are going to come over that number a little bit just to shorten the field up for the free safety a tad bit, but you can't get too far away from that sideline because that's your responsibility. Now, the second layer of that defense has to really do with your linebackers, and that's where the zone element of this defense comes in. So you guys got those players who are going to drop back into a zone, okay? The third layer of that is where you're looking at like your nickels. Are they zoning or are they in man? In this particular one, your nickel corners are actually playing in man concept. So you got thirds, zone, and man all built in. Keep in mind, though, this is a fast flow defense. That means you play the run first, and then you play back on your responsibilities for the passing game. When there's really not the threat of the run, it's a pretty good zone concept built in there. Later on in the game, this is going to come back to haunt us because Miami notices what we're doing on first down and it attacks us pretty quickly with it.
Play clock winding down. Fitzpatrick is taken down.
So, recently, on third downs, the Eagles have really liked doing something that is quite obvious on film, and it's been pretty effective. The Eagles are really liking this idea of creating this unbalanced defensive line, where if you take the defensive line and you split it in two, and I'll put a picture up, you split that defensive line in two, okay, so draw a line right through the center. You're going to put 3D linemen on one side, one on the other, and then depending on what the counter move is to the offensive line depends what they do there. So generally speaking, it's not always, but generally, if they slide protect, then you'll normally get a really, really long developing kind of stunt that comes around, okay? If they don't slide protect, which you might see the Eagles do, if they try to just match up one-on-one, all right, we got 5 guys look like they're coming, match up with them, the Eagles will bring a 6th person. That's when they'll try to bring someone like Malcolm Jenkins, or they'll try to bring Rodney McLeod, or they'll try to bring a corner on a corner blitz or something like that. So they'll try to get an extra guy in there and sneak them through, especially if you have basically a running back in the backfield who's got to commit. You want to make him commit to blocking somebody. Now, when they slide protect, the reason that a lot of these defenses like to slide protect is you can put 2 people on Fletcher Cox. And if you didn't see that, I'm going to give you a different angle on this one and let you really see what Fletcher Cox does to the center. This is why it's really difficult to hold the football against the Eagles. And Ryan Fitzpatrick on third down especially did not make this mistake after about the second drive of the football game. He got it through his head that, holy crap, I'm in trouble. Can't hold the football in this game. I thought the third offensive series of the game by Miami was really the pivotal moment. Jim Schwartz even referenced him, but he referenced the Devante Parker pass. But I'm going to tell you, I think that's the series where it's quite obvious the adjustment that Ryan Fitzpatrick makes. To begin with, on first down, the Eagles are going to show him a cover 3 look again. This time, he's going to motion. And what he wants to see is, okay, are we in a man? Is this cover 1? Is this cover 3? Are they sending Malcolm Jenkins on the blitz? What's going on? He's using this motioning back, which is the tight end Smythe. That way he can tell, okay, am I about to be under duress? How fast do I need to get it out there? Now, to me, it looks like he reads it as a cover 3. Maybe he saw it as a cover 1 and just thought he had a man beater, but judging from the throw that he made, I'm predicting that he must have known we were in cover 3 because he attacked exactly where you should attack. So line holds up, pressure doesn't get to him. And what ends up happening is you see your left and your right corner, they drop back into their zones like they're supposed to. They got that third of the field, so they're in their zones. You got Rodney McLeod, who's the single high safety. He's in his zone. You have both linebackers are going to do the same exact thing again, guys. So you're going to have one's going to go straight and the other one's going to go out. Okay? And then there's one wrinkle the Eagles add. Malcolm Jenkins is in a man assignment, it looks like to me, but Cravion LeBlanc is on a zone assignment. And that's a difference. That's a wrinkle they didn't see before. Now, mind you, it also had a lot to do with the formation from the very first play of the game because they went in line tight on the offensive right side the first play of the game. Now they kind of do a little bit more of a balanced line against us. So you got LeBlanc, who's on the defensive right, offensive left. He's in a zone concept. And then on the defensive left, offensive right, you got Malcolm Jenkins, who's matched up man-to-man. Fitzpatrick wants to know about what's going on with these linebackers or what's going on with essentially Malcolm Jenkins. Are they bringing him? So he motions. Watch it in its sequence here, guys, and you'll see it again. And I'll put up some little things up here to help you guide you to see exactly what I'm looking at.
I imagine they got to find some quick hitting passes here.
Couple of notes real quick, guys, to begin with. At this point of the football game, Ryan Fitzpatrick only had one completion. He was struggling. Now, you just saw there, you've seen him motion Smythe. That's him checking this coverage scheme, guys. He wants to know exactly what the coverage scheme is. This is a veteran quarterback doing what veteran quarterbacks are supposed to do.
Give them a chance to get this backed up situation.
Dolphins with 7 plays to this point, negative yardage.
They followed that play up, guys, by hitting us with that wildcat play, where the Eagles once again go into an unbalanced defensive line. They have a joker concept with Avery standing up. Unfortunately, Avery does not hold his outside responsibility. He doesn't set the edge like he's supposed to, and that allows that spacing for Albert Wilson to get to the outside. That gain to me, and I'm going to show you it, that play to me and that gain to me, that was what gave them the ability to go for it on 4th and 4, which is the turning point. You can see that they came out with a gadget play on 2nd down. They're making an adjustment to where they're not holding the football as long anymore, and they got us. They just kept getting us with these little gadget plays, and like, man, you got to give it to them. They adjusted where we didn't, and we've got to figure some stuff out defensively, guys.
Split out wide to the right. And this is Albert Wilson.
Following that wildcat play, guys, that was the first time Miami crossed over into the 50-yard line, and they were going to play risky ball. They had nothing to lose. Why not go for it on 4th down? And that really set them up for that 4th and 4 play, which I'll show you the 4th and 4 play now because I think a lot of people have covered it. A lot of people have said it a lot of different ways. And the general consensus is that play gave Miami confidence. It sparked in them the belief that they could hang in this football game and possibly win it. And it was a good play. But we need to talk Ronald Darby because there was some stuff I saw there.
Fitzpatrick on 4th down. And this pass is caught.
I want to talk a little bit about what we have heard from this. I heard some ESPN, I don't know if it was ESPN or if it was NewJersey.com, it was one of them, where they were talking about, oh, well, they went into quarters coverage. On that particular play, I don't agree that was quarters coverage. And I'll throw a picture up here and I'll show you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing cover 1 or possibly cover 6, but I lean towards cover 1. All right. The justification stays the same, which is, the belief is you got to give Darby and you got to give Jalen Mills a chance to play. That they've earned the right and they've earned the respect. That's all fine. The first time it happens, hey, plays like this are going to happen. This kept happening repeatedly. They were going up and high pointing the ball on us. And the problem is, this is a very coachable thing because I don't think Darby's positioning was horrible. I think he was positioned pretty well, but he doesn't know how to play the ball. He cannot play the ball for some weird reason in man concept. You put him in zone, and he plays the ball very well. You put him in man, now he's not playing the ball quite as well. Now, I do know that a quarter, like that is kind of a zone, but It's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about read and react zone. I'm talking about where the play's in front of him and he can break on the ball, not where he's man to man running alongside someone and he has a certain percentage of the field. It's a little different there. It is technically a zone, but it's a little different. It's mimicking a man concept. So that really goes down to coaching, and we got to have an honest conversation about Corey Underland. I think it might be time to do away with Underland because I'm not seeing development out of these corners, and we've spent a lot of draft capital on cornerbacks, and it's not paying dividends. You can argue it could be partially talent. Coaching comes along here too, man, because even if your guys aren't that great, there should be still progress there. And I'm sorry, but before Darby got here, and even one of the years he was here, he was a very good corner. Look, he doesn't like to tackle. We know that about him. He should be a lot better at playing the ball in the air than what he is. That's the problem I have on this play. If you can't locate the ball, you got to punch it out. I believe it was Ike Reese in his Philadelphia Eagles breakdown. He talked about this, and he's absolutely right. From what I remember, and I didn't play a lot of corner, but I did play some. What I remember being taught is as a shorter corner, okay, what you're supposed to do is when you got a high point play and you know you can't elevate over the guy in front of you, this is what we're taught. Is you're supposed to take your hand and pop the ball out. Darby makes a bad call on this. This is a coaching issue. The coaching's got to be better on this. I mean, we kept getting away with this. And I had a conversation with someone about luck, and they were like, well, luck doesn't show up on stat sheets. Who gives a shit about stats? It shows up on film. Teams see that shit. That's the problem.
See if that strategy continues, if he goes more conservative.
First offensive drive for Miami coming into the second half of the football game. The game plan was clear. Get the ball out of Fitzpatrick's hand. They knew that on first down we were playing cover 3. We start off this particular down and distance, guys, and a cover 3. You can see they go big on us. They give us a very good fake. Everybody on the defense flows that way. They're all, what is the basis of cover 3? It's a what? It's a fast flow defense. You play the run first. Everyone flows playing the run. They pull it back and get an easy, pass and catch to Gesicki. This is the problem, guys, is that I do think at times we can become very predictable on both sides of the football. And I think we need to go back to the drawing board a little bit and be a little more creative than we've been. I think it worked for a stretch of games, but now I think there's enough film on it that a team like Miami even caught us with it, to where they've seen enough film now to know tendencies. I'm telling you, from this game, we had a bad tendency of being in cover 3 on first down. It's not every first down, but it's the majority of first downs we're playing cover 3. Now we have another first and 10, and the Eagles are going – so Jim Schwartz is going to try to make a correction, guys. He's going to go into cover 1. So he's going to try to go into a man-to-man, kind of concept here. And the way I can tell that is if you look at the bottom of the screen, you will see an exchange between Darby and Grugier-Hill, where you can tell that they're talking about coverage assignments. This is clearly a man concept because you can see Grugier-Hill goes and takes his man. It's not like it's so obvious on that exchange what's going on.
Hasn't been that involved here today. There was a couple of opportunities early that Ryan Fitzpatrick sailed over his head.
Did you see the exchange between Grugier-Hill and Ronald Darby? If we're seeing that, for sure Fitzpatrick saw it. So he knew right away that he had man coverage. We got to quit tipping our hand on stuff like this, guys. This stuff isn't good, man. These are really rookie mistakes we make at times. Can't do that. Gesicki does a great job of selling a post when he's really running an out route. Hey, guys, the cherry on top of this 5th possession that it killed us, man, was it appears on the play that Jalen Mills confuses himself, thinks he's supposed to be in a zone concept. He's not supposed to be in a zone concept. He doesn't get back deep enough like he's supposed to, doesn't play the ball very well in the air. He's a little flat-footed, and Devante Parker goes up over him and gets the football. And the shitty part was this was designed to have safety help. This was Schwartz adjusting from the first half, bringing safety help, but Mills didn't play that very well, man. There wasn't a whole lot McLeod could do because of how poorly it was played by Mills. So it kind of killed us here, man. This was a bad play. Look at Mills's body positioning and technique here. Guys, to me, the way he positioned himself, number one, he's way back on his heels, which is just a no-no. Number two, he's playing like he has underneath leverage, like in a zone. It's weird to me. It's weird why he would confuse that. Although there was help over the top, the way he positioned his body completely took him out of the way of them being able to elevate and go get a play. I'm assuming that maybe he didn't think that the play was going to be in bounds, or it didn't make a lot of sense, the angle he took here, guys. It was a shitty angle. This was a really bad technique. And, all of us know what the proper way to do is that you're supposed to be up on them playing man, and you can't push them out, but you try to position your body to that way they're hugging the sideline, so it's almost impossible to make that play. We didn't do that. He didn't turn around. He didn't locate the ball well. This is just bad. This is bad. I mean, this just shows how bad our position coaches are. I wanted to slow this down a bit to show you how bad his body positioning is and how much he's on his heel. I want to take everyone back to that Seattle game. I believe it was Seattle. Maybe it was the New England game. I'm sorry. I don't remember off the top of my head. But do you remember the pass where Jalen Mills clearly didn't get his positioning right? Okay. He may have mistaken being in zone when he should have been in man. We don't know what happened, but he was not positioned correctly. But he was able to square his hips around just fast enough to get up, elevate, and tip the football. It looked like he tried to do the same exact thing here, except for this time there was film on this crap happening. They got a guy that can jump out of the ceiling, and they elevated the ball on him. This is why you've got to be careful with being lucky on plays. Once stuff gets captured on film, luck is going to change. Your luck's going to change because people are going to start executing on you because they're seeing breakdowns in your fundamentals. This secondary's got to improve, guys. We've got to do something about the secondary coaching. I don't think this is a matter of talent. I think Darby and Mills are plenty talented enough to play. I think this is a matter of coaching. And we need better. Our position coaches are just horrible, especially at the skill position, wide receiver, quarterback, out to the corners. The only ones I feel really comfortable with is our safety coach, Tim Hawk, and then I feel comfortable with Deuce Staley as running back coach. This is bad, guys. But this is the content for today, guys. This is my evaluation of the defense in this game. Don't forget to leave me a like, a comment, and subscribe. Guys, I'm sorry this went a little long, but this was a big topic, and I even had to cut down quite a bit. I had to get kind of down to what I wanted to say and really get into it. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Peace. You know what time it is. EAELES. I'm telling you, I'm going to be interested to see what we do against Slayton coming up. That preview will be coming up, guys.